G'day, Harry Houdini here from Australia, and this is part 2 of the Panzer II build. Now, last time I was pretty grumpy, and I'm sorry about that, but this time I am so happy. Look, we've started on the upper hull, and the little parts that we need to put on there are in place. There's some headlamps there, and a horn, and a sort of a, I think that's a what they call a convoy light or something like that. You know, you'll know. If you're in a tank, you'll know. It's a light. Look, I should really research these things right to these bloody videos. Anyhow, it's coming together nicely, and my interior is just visible inside there. All those hours I spent, but anyhow, that's all right. I enjoy doing that. So I'm a bit happier about the upper hull now joining to the lower hull and my whole interior. I've sorted that out. And actually, I took another look at the bottom of the box, and there are some bits there that I actually forgot to put in for the interior, because as I said, the bottom of the box kind of was sitting flat all the time with all the sprues on it and everything to tip out, and I'd only gone from memory. So I'll probably add a few more bits there to the interior and keep it going. So that's great. But what I have done today, and the reason for my happiness, is we've moved on to number 15, which is a great step, and number 15 has been the assembly, and that includes number 17 as well, has been the assembly of the main gun. Now, it's come up a treat. It's really come up nice. There's about, oh, I don't know, a little dozen little parts there, and they all cut off the spruce so nicely, and they all cleaned up, you know, really very easily. I don't know if you can see the detail. It is a beautiful little model in itself, so I'm pretty happy with that. And every part was correct, every part fitted. I'm a happy man. I like Dragon again. Now, I'd gone to all the trouble to purchase an aluminium barrel for this, because usually they're so much better, but I've discovered this is a Gen 2 barrel. And even though it's plastic, this one is hollowed out. All the little indentations and the holes there on the end of the barrel, they're all there. Everything's there. So I'm really beginning to wonder if I should go to all the trouble of chopping that lovely piece of plastic off and putting on this aluminium one when there's really not a lot in it. It's a little bit thinner and it might be more correct scale-wise, but tell you what, I'll probably build another Panzer II another day, because there's certainly quite a few different models, because this is just the B version, Ausf B. So I might hang on to that. That'll come in handy another day. And I've also got the beautiful little brass barrel there for the machine gun, which sits beside the main barrel of the tank in the turret. And again, the machine gun is a Gen 2 in this kit, and it is beautiful. Try to get some even light on it there. It is so beautifully cast. It's a slightly harder plastic too than the rest of the kit. So it's a work of art in itself. So again, I think I'll start making this kit a lot easier for me to deal with. And anyhow, the parts are beautiful, so there's nothing wrong with that. So happy with this. That's where we're at, and I'll keep going. Get the rest of the armament done, and get on with the turret. So here we are, a couple of days later, and we have that turret completed. And I'm very happy with the result. It's a tiny little thing, and it required, you know, lots of little fiddly, little tweezery, eye-straining, magnifying, glassy type stuff to make it happen, but there you go. It all came together quite well. However, there were a few little dramas along the way. 2 points to note if you're building this model. The instructions for the hatch placement is incorrect. The Hatches on this side, yes, there's a plain hatch, and that is correct. It should be there. But on this side, Dragon's wonderful instructions want you to put the plain hatch here and the hatch with the rivets there, which is incorrect. Absolutely. In fact, it's sort of pretty obvious because these two hull plates on the turret both have rivets on the plate. And you can see that. So there's actually some riveting there on the plate itself. Whereas here, the plate's plain, and here the plate is plain. So the plain hatches go on the plain plates, and the rivety hatches go on the rivety plates. And I figured this out because, again, I didn't trust Dragon's instructions because they have had a lot of inaccuracies actually building this turret. So I have checked my photos all the way. Now, one thing I did find out is I had been checking a couple of museum photos of a Panzer II, actually an Ausf C. It's very hard to find photos of an Ausf B, but anyhow, the turret seems to be pretty well the same. The hatches go on with two rivets to the top, and these same museum photos show the hatches down the bottom here, which I mirrored, and that's how I figured out how to get them open and exactly how to position them. It shows those with the two rivets to the bottom, as I did. But if you actually check photos of the tank from World War II, well, the two rivets were always at the top, both the lower hatches and upper hatches, so I've got that wrong. But then again, so is the museum, so bleh, what am I going to do, eh? Can't even trust museum photos. Dragon's kit actually had that correct in the instructions, but, you know, it wasn't the only thing they got wrong. Now, if you're building this, there's hooks on the top here. Now, this is part B6, and the instructions say, put 3 B6s on, 1, 2 and 3. Trouble is, no. There's only 2 B6s in the kit. There's a B5, but it doesn't have a stem on it to go in the hole, and it's all wrong. Totally different kind of hook. So again, back to my photos and looking at museum tanks and also World War II tanks. And then I realised there's a little oval-shaped space, sort of a marking on the back plate of the turret, and that is to fit and indicate where this hook will go. Oh, great. But you're left with a little hole over here, which obviously is left over from some other previous Dragon model, and you need to fill that, which I have done. I've put Mr. Surface on there and filled it up. So there you go. You just got to watch these little Dragon instructions because they're not good. They're not good at all. Another one that you have to watch is there's a little, let me show you, because I left this basically loose so that I could show off the wonderful interior. Then it's come up, you know, really nice. The interior is quite lovely. There's a lot of detail in there, and I didn't need to put my brass barrels on the KWK-30, the 20mm one main gun, and the MG-34. They were both, as I showed you last time, I was so happy with them. They're fine. Now there's there's even a little seat here. It's fallen out. It's a little seat for the gun crew, and that sort of sits in there, but it's not glued down either. So there's a lot going on there. It's very nice. But let me tell you the problem. The instructions would have you glue this little you see that little flange there, which actually allows the rotation. Now it suggests you glue it into this little hole. Well, if you do that, this is never going to move. And it's not until 3 or 4 steps later, when you actually put in the KWK, that it mounts in this little mantlet here and clicks into the hole so that it can move up and down. Well, of course, if you glued this little flange here, this one here, if you'd glued that in way back in 4 steps earlier, you won't be able to elevate your gun. So I twigged to that because I went, oh, hang on, it's indicating to put that part in there, and I thought, well, that's a bit premature. Let's have a look ahead. Ah, okay, that little flange will fit into this mantlet, and its little rod will go into that that little hole there, and that's how this entire mechanism for allowing the barrels to go up and down. That's how it works. So, oops, I won't glue that. So I totally left that part out until I put the mantlet in, mounted the KWK and the MG34, and that's when I realised I'll just glue that flange to the mantlet, and away I went. So just watch out for that if you're doing this kit. Otherwise, however you position that little guy, that's how your gun barrel is going to point, and they'll never move up and down, which would be a bit disappointing, wouldn't it? So there you go. Now it's quite lovely. It's got, as I said, it's got a little periscope. I think it's a periscope there, and the all the magazines and firing mechanism are in place, and you know, that's great. And I'm going to probably look at a way to not glue in the top of my my turret, as I have it there, so that I can take that off and admire that interior whenever I like. And just the same as I can pull the upper body of the tank off and have a look at that lovely interior in there. That I spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying to figure out what was really going on, because again, the instructions, Dragon, oh goodness me, you have obviously teams of people churning out all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, go on versions of everything, and that's commendable, and you do a lovely job of that, and the parts are beautiful, and your accuracy is fairly good, and you know, that's good, and we modelers love that you're giving us all that choice. But could somebody in the converting version making new parts department please talk to your instructions department, because they're not getting half the parts that you're creating and putting them in their instructions. So what's the point? It's absurd, right? You're making great kits here, Dragon, but one department can't be talking to another department, and the instructions that you're churning out, they're wrong. You're making so many versions, those poor old people in the instructions department are just getting confused. So sack them, get some new guys in, and the guys in the parts department, learn to communicate. That's what this is all about. You do that and it'll make your kit so much better. It really will. Because I can't be the only modeller getting frustrated, and I mean, I'm an experienced modeller, and I've stumbled through this magical mystery maze and journey of discovery of, hang on, there's a whole ton of parts on this sprue. They should fit somewhere. Oh, look, here's a photo. I'll put them in. Nothing in the instructions. Okay, so, I don't know. You're probably not even listening to me. You're probably thinking, silly man from Australia, what the hell would he know? And maybe you're right. Maybe it is all about, hey, look, we'll just make all these wonderful parts for you because we know you're great modelers, and you'll figure it out. And that's what you do. Because, you know, instructions are just loose guidelines. Well, maybe they are. All I can say is, if you're not an experienced modeller, and if you're not used to doing all the research and trying to figure it all out, you'll come to a lot of grief with this kit, because you'll only get half of it built. And maybe you'll be happy with that. I don't know. But I wanted to get it right, and this is where I've got to. So I'm pretty happy. I've got a Panzer II, and it's just about there. The only thing I haven't got is the Pioneer tools, and there's a little hatch there in the front, which I can't decide if having open or closed. Same as the hatches on the top here. They've just been tammy taped together, so I can see how it looked. But I'm thinking of propping that open. I've got a German crewman left over from my Kugelblitz, and I've got some nice little German heads that I can use, and I might get a little tank commander thing happening there. And as I said, I might engineer it all so that I can take that, pop that top of the turret off anytime I choose to have a look at my lovely interior. So there you go. So next time we'll be knocking up the tracks. Now they should be easy. I've done Dragon tracks before, well, in the Cyber Hobby kit, and they were so easy. They were good. So that's something they do get right. So I'm hoping the magic tracks will be magic, and that will leave me with a big smile on my dial. So then, once we've got some tracks on this thing, we can proceed with the painting, which will be great. Grey, 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 and grey. So we'll try some modulation. But more about that next time. This is where we've got to. We have Harry Houdini's Panzer II Ausf B. Well, it's getting close. And I'm hoping it's all happy, fun, 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 joy, joy from now on. Let's hope so. okay? Because you don't want to tune into video clips of me just griping and groaning. That's no fun. You know, you want a happy Australian. You want some beer-sozzled, happy little Aussie guy going, hey, right, it's a bloody good kit, this one. It's a bonza. That's what we'll hopefully be like next time. So there you go. End of part 2. Hopefully you got some hints out of it, and hopefully you'll hang around for part 3, which will be fun. I promise. I'll sing Waltzing Matilda, whatever. Let's get going. Anyhow, that's it. It's hooroo from Australia and goodbye from Harry Houdini.